Yar, mateys! On this week's show, we've got all the piratey details on the Gangplank and Miss Fortune reworks. All that and more on this week's Waypoint. What's up, guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap. I'm your host, Andrusco. We've got a pirate-themed episode this week with PvE reworks for Gangplank and Miss Fortune, two very old and very well-liked characters who slowly fell out of favor as the game evolved. They absolutely need a rework to bring them back into the meta, so let's jump right in, starting with Gangplank. First up, his passive has changed a bit. His new passive only procs every few seconds, but it deals true damage instead of magic damage, which is going to be much more impactful. Instead of slowing the target, Gangplank actually speeds up, which I would definitely consider a buff. Powder Keg is GP's new E, replacing a fairly boring but very powerful group speed and attack damage buff. It works like this. Gangplank places a powder keg on the ground that anyone can attack. If GP destroys it, the damage of his attack is spread out in an AoE, as well as a slow. It also procs other kegs in the area in a chain reaction, and you can have up to 5 kegs depending on the rank of your ultimate. However, if an enemy destroys the cask, the explosion is diffused and they get some gold. The passive's cooldown is also instantly reset when a powder keg gets destroyed. The payoff on this new passive could be huge. If you crit when you kill a keg, you AoE crit. Keg explosions can chain over walls, so there's some real potential for setting up a multi-keg minefield. Also, in the laning phase, this thing is going to be great for killing minions. Next up, let's talk Parlay. It's pretty much the same. Point-and-click damage, applying on-hit effects, restoring gold, and mana on a kill. Still, there are 3 major differences. 1, it no longer procs your passive, which is why the passive now does true damage. 2, you can use it to kill kegs, and if the keg explosion kills multiple minions, you get bonus gold for all of them. And finally, for each gold earned with Parlay, you earn a Silver Serpent, which can be used to upgrade your ultimate. Initially, his ultimate is the same. It's still the good old cannon barrage that damages and slows enemies in a large area. The Silver Serpent, however, allows you to upgrade your ultimate up to 3 times. One upgrade gives you a Mega Cannonball at the initial cast, which presumably does a boatload of damage. Another gives allies in the area bonus move speed, just like his oldie, and the last option increases the rate of fire on Cannon Barrage. I really like these upgrade options, although unsurprisingly, I think the move speed upgrade is by far the best. Keep in mind, it's still a global ultimate, and with the move speed and slow, it's going to be a very powerful disengage tool while you're off split pushing. Last up, his W is the ability that was changed the least. He eats some oranges, he shrugs off CC, and he heals himself. The only difference is, instead of being a flat heal, it's a heal based on his missing health. Overall, if his numbers end up in the right places, I think this looks like a very good rework. He's still got his iconic abilities, he's got some fun new bonuses, and he has a unique, interesting mechanic. Okay, so I'm gonna talk Miss Fortune in a second, but first, I wanna thank this week's sponsor, World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a free-to-play, massively multiplayer online game. You know what? Let's just be honest. Tanks are awesome. It's got 15-on-15 player versus player combat, an ever-evolving upgrade system, and over 300 tanks to choose from. Best of all, World of Tanks is totally free to play, so you have no excuse. Go check it out. Just head on over to gboffer.com/tanks to download and start playing today. And just by going to that URL, you are directly helping support us. So thank you. Okay, let's talk some Miss Fortune. First up, her passive still gives her move speed after a few seconds of not taking damage, but now it scales with her level, and it doesn't fall off when she takes damage over time. Definitely a nice buff. No one is ever going to complain about more mobility, and without any kind of dash, Miss Fortune needs all the mobility she can get. Her Q is also mostly the same. Point and click on a target, going through to a second target while applying on-hit effects. The only new thing here is the bounce damage is increased if the first shot kills the target. This is going to be really nice in the laning phase, especially with easy procs on minions. And the bounce range is really long, so good luck staying far enough back to avoid it. Her W still passively gives her attacks bonus magic damage and bonus attack speed, but it now also activates her passive speed boost. However, the Grievous Wounds component has been removed. The Grievous Wounds debuff halves the healing the target receives. I'm assuming her numbers across the board are being tweaked, and that might be enough to bring her up to par. On paper though, this honestly looks like a pretty big nerf. Her last two abilities, Make It Rain and Bullet Time, haven't been touched at all at this point, so don't expect anything new there. I really don't get it. Without Grievous Wounds, I don't see why you'd pick her over any of the top marksmen right now. Of course, all of these changes are still on the PvE, and things could change before they make it to live servers.
That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. For more video game news and content, head on over to GameBreaker.tv. Be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends news. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Facebook to help us reach more people. And if you want more League of Legends content, recaps, and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolNation TV. I'm Kat Andrusco. You can follow me on Twitter @KatAndrusco. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next Waypoint.